Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ, Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. 31 days away until Raiders opening day.
Right there.
If you're on your period right now, you'll be on your period again when the Raiders kick off. It's like 1 month. It's like exactly 1 month. It's so close. I can taste it.
Yeah, we got some game like substance tonight.
It's on, baby. Seahawks, Raiders, football like substance happening.
An old AFC West rivalry.
What was the there's that stat. It was like the AFC East. Who was in the AFC East that's not there now?
What do you mean?
There used to be 5 teams, right?
Yeah.
The AFC East, right? Oh, fuck, who was it?
So the AFC East is the Patriots, Dolphins, Bills,
And Jets.
And
God damn it, who was the 5th AFC team? AFC East team.
Was it the Colts? No, they were always in the Central. Pittsburgh was Central.
Oh, God damn it. No, maybe NFC. God damn it. Anyway, it was like a current member of a division is 5th all time because there was a team that wasn't in there and is now back. I don't know why that made me think of that, but thinking of like the old fucking Seahawks. When they realigned, they get dumped into an entire different, not even like division, but conference.
Different conference.
They're just like so irrelevant. They're just like you can kick rocks. We don't care where you end up. You're overflow. You can go wherever you want.
That was when the Jags and the Panthers showed up, right?
Yeah. Moved to 32. It was like, okay, we're going to be at 32 for a while. So they're like, let's get this right. I still can't stand like the visions.
It was the Colts.
Colts? Yeah.
It was the Colts. Yeah.
That was a really terrible shot at trivia that I just did.
Because they were the Baltimore Colts before.
Yeah.
And they were Indianapolis Colts, and there you go.
Great start, Clifford. Here's a cool piece of trivia that I totally forgot and can't explain well. Let's turn this around, shall we?
We got the info out there, right? Anyone has a problem with it, they can go suck an egg, okay? We got the info out there. You got it in a roundabout way, all right? We gave you a little burlesque show. We showed you a little leg. We took it away. At the end of the day, you got your little nip slip. So be happy.
Like the Diceman said, she didn't look like much, but she got me there. That's what we did. We got you there.
I'm sorry I made you clean the bathroom and the kitchen, but who did all the work in bed?
Jack and Jill went up a hill. They both had 50 cents. Jill came down with $1. What a whore. All right, I'll tell you what we do have. A motherfucking depth chart. I don't know why I get so excited about depth charts. There's nothing set in stone. This is nothing official, but it's just like, it's one of the 1,000 little like kernels, like little nuggets that the NFL gives us to get us excited for the upcoming season, and I fall for them. Hook, line, and sinker every time. We got a depth chart. Looking at offense first. Left tackle to right tackle. Kolton Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, Jackson Powers-Johnson, or Alex Kappa, right guard, DJ Glaze. Brock Bowers, the 3 wide receivers, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, quarterback Geno Smith, running back Ashton Genty, backup running back Zamir White or Raheem Mostert. Those are the 2 ors on the offense. Anything knock your socks off, blow you away, surprise you, Soto? Comments, observations? After your ocular pat down?
The Jordan Meredith at center, he hasn't played center in quite some time. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, he's a lot smarter than Jackson Powers-Johnson. Shocker. But he's just smarter. He can make the calls. When Jackson Powers-Johnson was in there at center, Alex Kappa was making the calls at guard, which is I mean, inexcusable if you're a center. You have to be the one that's, making the calls. And they like Jordan Meredith at center. I think Alex Kappa may be the odd man out, unless Jackson Powers Johnson just shows he's incapable of mentally handling the blocking scheme. It's a lot more complex, and it should be, because last year's was very basic and it sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going after kind of what they were saying in the draft. Spytek and Pete Carroll were saying the physical tools, that's just like a given. That's just to get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
After that, how are you a good football player? And part of that is mental. And we're seeing that right now with Jackson Powers Johnson. He's not even like the more important guard. That's Dylan Parham, the left guard. He's got to step it up. He's got to step up his mental game. He did a good job over the offseason, from what we're told, working out with Max Crosby. But I mean, if you can't mentally handle the game and the blocking scheme, then he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a learning curve thing, a youth thing, but I mean, we were both like, yeah, man, it's Kolton Miller at left tackle, Jackson Powers Johnson at center, then everything else is up in the air, but we know those two for sure, and then not even that is in stone, right? So it's I thought, like, I think we're also thinking like very long term too. Like, Jackson Powers Johnson's our center for the next 10 years. Like, just put him in there, done. There's our anchor center for the next 10 years. We're set, right? Or is they're thinking it's like, well, maybe he's not ready in 2025 mentally as a second-year player to grasp this offense. We need to win. We need to get this ball rolling right meow. So let's put a guy in there that's got some, immense meeting dude and Jordan Meredith, and have him play center.
He's not old.
Eventually.
He's 27. Yeah. He's got a good 3-4 years being a top, maybe not a tip-top flight center, but I mean, the best that we have. And I mean, this is one of the things I wouldn't say warn people about, but I know Pete Carroll. I've followed him for decades. He shakes things up. That's part of why he did it with Russell Wilson. He just paid Matt Flynn at the time a lot of money. He traded for Charlie Whitehurst. Like, he got a lot of options, and the rookie beat everyone out. Hell, if Cam Miller comes out here and starts whipping the ball around, like, don't think it's out of the ordinary for him to be starting him. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. If he's the best player, because he's going to play the best player, and if it doesn't matter what we think.
Well, that's the other position battle I'm looking at, is backup quarterback, right? Aidan O'Connell, Cam Miller. What do I always say about backup quarterback, right? I want two things out of you. Be healthy, which AOC is, and be able to mimic the quarterback. Be able to come in the third quarter, Geno Smith rolls an ankle, maybe can't come back in. Can you finish the game plan, right? Can the playbook that we started with, you finish?
Yeah, can the game plan be the same?
Can the game plan be the same, right? And then let's say it's 2-3 days, right? You don't have to, or 2-3 weeks, right? Can you just kind of step in and be Geno Smith light, right? Can you replicate to the best of your ability the quarterbacks don't have to, and maybe, you can change some things, right? You'll have a little bit of a far of a package, but it's mostly like, can you just step in? Aidan O'Connell, like, what's Geno Smith's two best things, right? He can move, he has a rocket. Those are the two things Aidan O'Connell can't do, right? So I'm curious if, look, Aidan O'Connell, just as a clean slate, just miscellaneous quarterback, fabulous backup quarterback, like really, really good backup quarterback. He's proven it under the worst offensive circumstances. He can step in and not just shit the bed. He can be like, I can keep the ship going in the right direction with no run game, terrible OC, everything in a mess. He's already proven, like, I can keep the ship going in the right direction and not hit an iceberg, which is great. Like, he's great. Cam Miller got a rocket and can fucking move. Like, he might have a stronger arm, and he is faster than Geno Smith. That's what I'm wondering, is who the backup's going to be. Are they going to say, all right, Aidan O'Connell, you're a more complete, experienced quarterback. You are QB2 for sure. Or are they like, yeah, Cam, like, you can mimic Geno. Let's get you some experience. Let's get you some reps. I'm curious. I'm curious to see. And what do they do with Aidan O'Connell then? At that point, they trade him if he's third quarterback.
Yeah, he won't last on as a third quarterback. If he's not on the 53 and he's like an emergency quarterback, he's not going to last. Someone's going to claim him and put him on the roster. So this is why, especially with a Pete Carroll team, one thing, there's a reason why when he was at USC, the spring game was televised before anybody was televising their spring games. Because it was a legit game. Right, because they were like, okay, competition Wednesday type of thing, it was a legit game to see who was going to start. These preseason games mean a ton for a few reasons. Number one, it's Pete Carroll and how he thinks. He thinks, okay, let's see them go out there and compete. Do they need to be perfect? No, but we need to see some flashes of things that we see in practice against other people. There's that. Also, he doesn't care who you are. Okay, he doesn't care who you were last season. He cut one starting corner and he traded another starting corner that we had last season. Well, guess what? Our secondary was statistically the worst secondary in the NFL last year. So I wouldn't cry too hard for these guys. Even though they were starters for us, they weren't that good. All right. Could they have improved? Could they have gotten better? Yeah, but they should have, Corey and Bennett didn't show them much. He was running with the third string before they traded him. So he doesn't care about your resume. It's what you're doing now. And can you help the team win now? And that's why these preseason games mean a lot to everybody who steps on the field. I'll tell you something right now. There's no throwaway players. There's no guys that are like, there's no Alex Bachmans like in the past seasons who just wasn't used. That's not the case here with Pete Carroll. Every single person, there's a package just for them. Like Ian Thomas, I wouldn't sleep on Ian Thomas making some big plays for us because there's certain things that he can do better than Brock Bowers and better than Michael Mayer. There's maybe certain routes or certain things he does better. Well, guess what? We're going to ask you to do what you do at your best, and we're going to need you to do that.
And he plays special teams.
So there's a lot of things that he does, and it's much better than what the other two guys do. And he'll find something, and once they find it, once they identify it, they're going to ask you to do that, but at a high level, which is, what you want. So I said it from the very beginning. I said this depth chart, especially on the offensive line, can look very different. Now, I was wrong. I said Jackson Powers-Johnson was going to be our center, but I wasn't wrong about the fact that it could look very different.
Yeah, left tackle, right tackle, left guard has kind of been, ironically, like the guard positions and right tackle, like anything's up in the air, but it was chalk. Except then center right guard was the the weird spot that got moved around. The other thing, Zamir White or Raheem Mostert. I thought for sure Raheem was RB2. I guess in like a combine sense, Zeus is an RB2, right? Big, strong, bruiser specimen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder who's going to get the second team reps, Zamir or Raheem, and I feel like preseason is going to be really important to see who RB2 is, depending on who performs in the preseason games.
I believe Raheem Mostert is the backup to Ashton Genty, and I believe that Zamir White is our short yardage back.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not really a number 2. He's more like a 1A in a certain situation, in certain packages. It's like I was telling you about Ian Thomas. They're going to have specific packages for Zamir White to run. But, Dylan Lowy is as good as gone, probably. They got plenty of guys to play special teams. If he doesn't show out in the preseason, he's, for a guy that did so little last season, to be this buried in the depth chart, it doesn't look good for him.
If we see him playing 3 quarters in 2 preseason games from now, we're like, okay, yeah, he's gone. He's just
like, all right, buddy.
He's just spinning his wheels.
All right.
So the depth chart is 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, and Dante Thornton is technically a starter in a 3 wide receiver set. Like we've been talking about forever. Like they're trying to will Dante Thornton to be a true X because he's the only built physical true X really on the team. So they can shove the square peg into a round hole. They'd want Dante to be the X. So I think they're going to give him every opportunity to take that position. But also we're going to be running a lot of 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, 2 running back sets. We'll be running 3 wide receivers, probably less than any other team in football. So while he's number 1 on the depth chart, and he might actually be the number 1 Like the number one true X, he won't see the field like a true X unless he's, Puka Nacua like rookie.
I mean, if he is anything close to what we've been seeing in practice from him, he's going to be the number one wide receiver target. And the only thing that would keep him from being that is if he is used more as a decoy to open up the underneath stuff, because we would be in 12 personnel quite a bit. So open up the underneath the seams and stuff like that for Michael Mayer and for Brock Bowers. But there's nothing that we've heard and nothing that we've seen from Dante Thornton other than this guy is going to be on the outside commanding double teams and commanding shading going over to his side. And he just, again, it's very important for him to show it in the games. Practice, great. Scrimmage, great. All that stuff's great. Okay, play against somebody else. I said it in my show, Dante Thornton and Jack Besh have to smoke these backup corners. It can't be close. They got to smoke these fools because they're probably not going to play a lot of starters on the opposite side. So if they go up against backups on other teams, they got to smoke those fools. And if they do, then they're going to get a lot of rep.
Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton on either side of the formation. That's a lot of fucking speed. Al Davis is rock hard right now in his grave. The coffin lid is raising. He's so rock hard thinking about that. Other than that, that's kind of it. Everything else pretty standard, more or less. Backup running back battle, backup quarterback battle, Dante Thornton, the center situation. More or less pretty standard on the offense. Moving on to the D. Again, no giant surprises here. Still have Jacorian Bennett on here. Porter and Holmes is the starting corners. Stokes kind of like the nickel. The three linebackers. And then Jonah as the other defensive tackle.
So Jacorian Bennett shows us in the backup role. We're not going to be playing a lot of three cornerbacks. I would suggest that we're going to play more three safety look than anything else and have one of the safeties cover the slot, be the kind of like the nickel. Mm-hmm. Because, Greedy Vance was said to have a better camp. JT Woods was said to have a better camp than Jacorian Bennett. It's just you're asked to do different things. And he's not a bad player or anything like that. It's just the way that they want to play now is not suited to his skill set. And they don't have to. They don't have to change their defensive scheme in the secondary for one player. They got a bunch of guys that they really like. And Pete Carroll said it in his press conference. It was nothing against Jacorian Bennett as far as who he is as a player. It's just other players were just doing what they were asking better than he was. And, you see, the Eagles let a ton of guys go in their secondary. They have depth issues. They have those two second-year starters on the outside, but they need depth. And they had a crazy amount of depth. In Thomas Booker, dude, Thomas Booker could start for 3/4 of the NFL, dude. That guy's good. He's a good player. And he just happens to have two guys that are borderline all pros every single season at defensive tackle in front of him. He doesn't get playing time. So just like we've been talking about before, it's not always how good you are. It's about coaching, your situation, where you are, who's playing in front of you, things like that. Like Marcellus Wiley was saying, I was listening to him, and he's like, dude, I was playing behind Bruce Smith. Dude, I didn't get any freaking snaps behind Bruce Smith. Like, he was old, but he was a Hall of Famer. Like, I'm not going to get snaps. I had to wait for him to retire for me to get snaps.
Yeah.
And the same thing going on here. It's like, Thomas Booker didn't get snaps because he's got two guys that are studs in front of him. And plus, they moved a lot of the defensive ends in and out as well. I'm a little bit concerned with, Tonka's slotted in here as a defensive end. I don't know if that's necessarily going to stand. Mm-hmm. But, you see J.J. Pegues back, maybe because we haven't seen him play. But those are two guys that I've expected a lot more from. I don't see Zach Carter being somebody that's going to play ahead of or that has better skill set than J.J. Pegues or Tonka Hemingway. John Joyner has some ability, but there's a reason why he went undrafted. He has zero awareness in the run game, and Pete Carroll's not going to stand for that. But yeah, man, there's some depth on this defensive line. It's just they're all young and unproven. And if you throw Thomas Booker into the heap, he's going to bolt up to the very front. He's going to push Lualu for that starting spot.
The defensive tackles and linebackers are all kind of the same thing. There's like no for sure's, but there's like, let's just take 6 guys with upside and then hopefully 2 of them pan out and then we're set. Right? Like that's kind of the plan there. Jonah is like the Dante Thornton of the defense. Like he's like physically exactly what they need. They don't have any like bruising good run stoppers. Like Malcolm
Koonce is probably the closest they have.
He's the closest, right? And when he's your
6'5",
closest,
320, yeah.
When he's your closest to a run stopper, you're like, okay, we're like, we need some help at run stopper. Like Jonah's the specimen, right? Like he's the physical freak. Because like even like Adam Butler, like he's starting defensive tackle, good, but he's more of a hit the gap, get penetration guy than like eat a
Most
double
of these
team.
guys are.
That's what I'm saying. Other than Jonah, there's not
a lot of stack and shed guys on here.
Even Koonce is like against the run, not like Max Crosby walks on water. Other than that, who's like a real good run stopper? That's it. So they're hoping Jonah can be that guy. He's like the Dante Thornton.
Well, Booker, we've seen Booker
else.
stack and shed on tape.
Mm-hmm.
That's like how you draw it up. You shove the guard's pads into his throat and pushed him into the backfield and threw him to the side and made the tackle. That's kind of how you draw it up.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw him do that against a Pro Bowl guard. So he showed he has the ability. Honestly, you talked about. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, as you can see, there's 12. It's not like the Raiders are allowed to play 12 at a time. I think it's going to be 2 linebackers on the field usually. Yeah. And that's going to and that's interesting, right? So like Pratt, Roberts, White, Adams, only 2 of those guys are going to start.
Linebacker could be our best group on defense.
Not better than D-line. Can't be. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing.
I think they can be. They can sneakily be the best group on defense.
Well, look.
Because these guys are guys that have all 4 of those guys played in Super Bowl.
Well, look, Jamal Adams, he's there to blitz. We know what he's there for. Devin White's there for speed. We know what he's there for. There's not like complete players though, like the way Crosby and Butler kind of are.
Butler's. I think Crosby's really the only complete player on defense on the line. Butler's not great against the run. That was his big knock. That's why he didn't start. That's why Jenkins started next to 2 years ago. He was more of a
penetration guy. Yeah,
he's more of a pass rusher than anything. But I just see those 4 guys, their ability, their experience. Those are 4 guys that can still go. Yeah. If Devin White is healthy now, if Jamal Adams, if they're healthy, this is the best group we have on defense, is the linebackers. And it's weird because there was the one that we had the biggest question marks on, but we got 4 guys that really know how to play.
Well, it's a lot of guys where it's like they did play, potentials there. Can they get it back? Like, is Jamal Adams' knees back? Like, these are all like, it's a lot of guys where we like really, really high ceilings but really, really low floors. But again, there's like 5, 6 guys like that. You only need 2 to pan out. Like I get what Spytek's doing. A lot of bodies with high ceilings. Half of them are going to bottom out, but that's fine. You only need 2 or 3. Or you can get your hands on one of the best defensive players in a generation. How horny are you for Micah Parsons to be a Raider?
But if they can make it happen, I would give them anything they wanted, dude.
Dude, you could have my firstborn. You can have the draft picks. You can do whatever you want. I'll give you Soto's Cats in a minute for Micah Parsons. I think this is from ESPN. They're talking about certain teams that could potentially get Micah Parsons. Few teams are better equipped to handle the financial burden of a Parsons contract extension than the Raiders, both in the short and long terms. They're sitting close to $40 million under the salary cap now and boast nearly $100 million in cap space in 2026. Paying Parsons wouldn't be the issue, even after extending Max Crosby. So I still believe that Micah Parsons stays as the Cowboys, it's Jerry Jones. He always has to do some sort of fucking drama right before the season, drag something out, end up having to pay the guy more, but he always ends up paying him, right? That's the most likely scenario. However, when it's Micah fucking Parsons and you have Max on one side, Micah on the other side, and it's that glorious, you can't help but dream. It's like, why do we always say, like, hey, if you won the Super Lotto, $250 million, what would you get? You're like, dude, that's a 1 in a 10 billion chance. I'm like, yeah. But the possibilities are so fucking high, Soto. I can't help but dream. I can't.
Yeah, look, it's not impossible. That's the thing. Is so if it's not impossible, then there is some level of probability there. The issue that you're going to run into is what are they going to want back? Ultimately, if you have a defense that's built like with those two guys on the outside, you can get away with a lot less around them and still be extremely effective. So I don't know that Jerry is really in tune with who he's messing with. Micah Parsons, one of the reasons why he dropped as much as he did is he stood his ground and he took that COVID year. And
said that before.
He didn't play. He's like, I don't feel comfortable playing. And he didn't play. So he's a guy that's going to tell you, dude, look, if you're going to screw with me, then one of the most ignorant things I've heard in such a long time, and I've heard a lot of ignorant things. I unfortunately, I'm surrounded at times by a lot of ignorant people. But Jerry Jones said, well, we could pay him a lot of money, but, I pay the quarterback a lot of money, and he went and got hurt. And this same player got hurt last season. I'm like, yeah, he got hurt playing for your team. He got hurt while he was putting his health on the line for your team, for you to make money. And you're going to throw that in his face as to why you're not paying him? That was absolutely ridiculous on my end. I was like, I couldn't believe he said that. I've known Jerry to say some stupid stuff, but that was absolutely just abhorrent. Like, you don't say something like that when a player's putting his life basically on the line to help you and make you money, and you're going to throw it in his face that he was injured. It's ridiculous. That's terrible. And whatever happens, if something bad happens with the relationship between him and Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones deserves every little bit that he gets.
Well, he's going to make himself the center of every conversation, right? Hired a new coach. What did he do? Talked about himself. He's on the hook to pay one of the best defensive young player, maybe the best young defensive player in the league. And he makes it about himself.
25 yet?
I think he just turned 25.
Just turned 25? Are you kidding me?
Baby, dude. He's got like 8 years of prime left. He has 2 more contracts coming his way. I always say, like, when they say, like, all right, who's better, Max Crosby or Micah Parsons? I'm like,
turned 26, dude. What are we doing here? What are we doing, Jerry?
Micah's the like bigger
was
play
Dak
guy.
Ever the best player at his position? Was CeeDee Lamb ever viewed as the best player? No. And you still paid him. This guy is viewed as the guy. There are a handful of players that you say, okay, this guy's in the conversation, this guy and this guy. He's in that handful of guys.
Yeah, there's 4 dudes, right?
It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. You draft and develop to get guys like him.
I think Jerry in his mind is like, okay, I don't mind, because like, look, obviously, like, remember when we extended Max Crosby and he was the highest paid non-quarterback in football, and we're like, watch, he won't even be top 5 by the time the season rolls around. And I think that's true. I think he's already been, by the time Micah's paid, like 4, I think he's not. Yeah, 4, like, right. So like, I think once Micah paid, he's probably 5th, and then maybe one more guy. Like, it's that's how it works, right? You wait, you pay more. And I feel like Jerry Jones is like more promoter than general manager. He's like, if I just drag this out, that's more attention, that's more jersey sales, that's more click. That's all he cares about.
Money.
Just more money. Just get to the playoffs and just say you got to the playoffs, be a giant brand, make all the headlines, get all the primetime games, playing us on primetime in November, Monday night game. Like, that's all he cares about. Like, he'd rather drag this out, embarrass a player and have to pay him more if it meant 3 more weeks of publicity.
Well, the thing is, too, is he's complaining about having all of his cap tied up into a couple of players, but that's his own doing. He could have extended him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He could have extended him 2 years ago, and he didn't. It just doesn't make sense. He extended Dak too late. He waited on CeeDee Lamb. He waited. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't make sense.
He treats every contract as a loss leader. He's like, I'll pay more to make the drama and get attention. And that's why the Cowboys will be like, yeah, they get stars pretty often. Most valuable franchise in probably all of American sports. Can't make a dent in the playoffs. Because that's all Jerry Jones cares about. Just be in the headlines.
Well, dude, we're living it. What can happen to a franchise when you get better leadership at the top? You get some adults in the room and things starting to look a little bit better. And I don't know, man. I don't know. And then you got his son out there fiddling around thinking like he knows what he's doing.
What's
that's their issue. Let them have that problem. They can have it.
So contract wise, let's say in Imagination Land, we get Micah Parsons, right? We trade with the Cowboys. He's immediately extended highest paid defensive player in football.
That's him, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Danielle Hunter, and then Max Crosby.
Yeah. And then Myles Garrett will probably be number one.
Yeah,
probably,
that's what I'm saying. Him,
right?
he's first, yeah.
Probably him. And then what's the trade package? We do have Malcolm Koonce, which we would try to trade, whether to the Cowboys or someone else. We're not going to pay Malcolm Koonce $15 million to be a backup to these two guys. So let's say we give him Malcolm Koonce. Is it still 2 firsts and Koonce? Can we get away with a first and a second if we throw in Koonce?
Nope. You got to get a replacement player now and 2 first rounders. That's what it's going to take, and more maybe.
I feel like 2, because the comp everyone's using is Khalil Mack, right? And it was 2 firsts, and then it was like second that way, third. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was 2 firsts and then kind of a muddy waters, like a muddy water thing. I think maybe a first and a second, and then like a quality Koonce, maybe that would be a comp to Khalil Mack. I don't know.
So let me ask you a question: what would you trade for Max Crosby? Because they're in the same. They're in the same category as far as who That's who you're trading for. You're trading for another Max Crosby. So what would you trade for Max Crosby? That's pretty much what you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Khalil Mack's the exact same comp. I think Khalil Mack's the closest comp, right? It's the guy, all pro, amazing, do it all, on his first contract, and so it was 2 firsts and murky. So if it's first and a second and an immediate replacement player.
I think it was 2 firsts, and then we got a second, and we traded them a first. Like we switched. And that's what it was.
I know it was for sure 2 firsts, and then
I think we send a first and they send us a second.
So it was 3 firsts?
No. We sent them back our first, and then they gave us a second. I think that's what it was. Hang on. Checking.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Checking. Hold, please. Go ahead and continue the conversation.
Discuss amongst yourselves all right, for the second time. Oh, wait, that's an old one. All right, the Bears acquired Mack by trading 2 first-round picks, a third and a sixth to the Raiders. In return, the Bears received Mack a second round and a fifth. So
okay,
it was
that's what it was.
It was 2, 3, 6, and then we got back. I'm sorry, 1, 1, 3, 6, and we got back 2 conditional 5.
And Mac.
And no, yeah, the guy.
And the guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's what it was. I know there was a 2 in there somewhere.
Whatever it is, it's worth it. Right? You try to keep one of those firsts and throw in some,
ultimately it doesn't matter. Ultimately it doesn't matter. You have 2 of the top 5 edge players in the league, it doesn't matter. Give away 3 first-rounders. You need that. That's how valuable he'd be.
I mean, it'd be worth it, but right, you're trying to get the best deal you can, right? You're
Of
trying
course.
you know.
But ultimately, if it came down to it, and it's a possibility, you'd make the deal happen.
Yeah,
because you don't get that opportunity very often.
And you'd unload, but you'd also unload Koonce for something too, right? So,
well, yeah, he's going to be a sweetener. And yeah, if you do 2 and a Koonce, that could work. Maybe a pick swaps later on down the line. Switching a 4th and 5th or something like that. Kind of what we did when we traded back the second time, I believe, in the second round. We traded our 5th round pick and got another 4th round pick.
Yeah,
kind of like sweeten the deal a little bit.
So did you see at practice there was a goat on the loose? Training camp.
Birria.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of goat.
Someone let a goat on the field.
What
Tom
happened
Brady
to
just
Tom
strolling
Brady's
around.
Ass, dude. Did they retirement? Did he retire his butt cheeks too, or what?
Well, dude, you get off the juice and you're just eating avocados and berries. You know.
Look at that thing, dude. There's nothing there. He's got that Taylor Swift long back.
He's got like the same body type as like the Instagram models he's banging now. You know, just slender, just slend. What do you think his inner monologue is right now? Your cut. I like your hustle. Your cut.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it.
Can someone get that guy with the pink shorts out of here? I don't like that guy.
It's like, oh God, this itches. That horse said she was
Tom's
fine.
like, dude, we got to get Brock Bowers some speech lessons. His list is killing me.
Like,
I remember when I was a little kid, they put a straw in my teeth right here when I was talking. I had to say my S's and I had to make it whistle. So that means I was pushing the air through the front instead of the sides.
It's probably like, hey, Pete Carroll, I got a great facelift guy. If you want him. No one will even know. No one has any clue.
Who's he talking to? No, that's another guy. That's Spytech. Is that? No, that's not Spytech. He's got a boot, whoever that is.
I don't want to say it, dude, but fuck, he looks good in silver.
He's tall as hell, dude. I forgot how tall he was.
Yeah, man. He was a legit athlete.
And he's
physically. I'm sure he's just looking stuff up for Fox Sports. Like he's just doing research for the broadcast.
No, I like that he actually
sure
Raider geared out. Like he's not under any false pretense. Like I'm going out there with my gear on. This is my team. Good for him.
Well, that's why he gave the bullshit answers. He's just like, okay, like I'm contractually obligated to say, no, I'm just kind of there. They bounce ideas off me. When really he's like literally like he probably wrote the depth chart. He's like McCormick or Zeus. That's my call.
It's just not really. He could be doing any number of things there. He could be giving his thoughts on the players. He could just be observing. He could be there for motivation, like because Pete Carroll liked to bring in a bunch of guys at SC to motivate the team to talk. He's very big on coaching the person, not just the player, and having Tom Brady go in there and talk about competition, talk about focus. You know, that's one thing that we've lacked at big stretches in our seasons is focus. Gruden, we always petered out at the end of the year, lost focus. Big stretches during the middle of the season when things didn't go our way, we lost focus and lost some winnable games. So building that mental toughness and that mental strength. Yeah. I mean, people like Tom Brady come in and talk to you about it. Yeah. You're going to listen.
You could have also been like, trade that corner away. I want a defensive tackle. It could have been anything.
Dude, Brandon Hunt.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed. I didn't even talk about Brandon Hunt yet. The guy that we got from the Eagles. He's our assistant GM now. And there was an interview with Lane Johnson, and they asked him about the trading away Thomas Booker. And they said, what do you think about Thomas Booker? And he's like, oh, that guy's a Pro Bowler. He just needs more snaps. He was good.
We briefly talked about Hunt. Like I think that's like obviously the big splash signings, Pete Carroll, Spy Tech, Chip, like that kind of shit,
big,
right? Like, okay, like these are all like, those are the splash ones, but Hunt, that one, depending what metric you're using, is the biggest because he went lateral move. Like Spytek got promoted to GM. Pete Carroll went from unemployed to coach. Chip Kelly went from college to NFL. Like, they're big moves, paid big, and we got them, but they all got promotions. They all, like, went up. Hunt, lateral move from the Super Bowl champions to a 4-win team. Who does that? Who goes from
You must throw some cash at him.
Yeah, it's the money, right? Like Chip Kelly, right? Highest paid. Like, who goes from like executive vice president of Facebook to executive vice president of my daughter's lemonade stand, right? Like, he went from Super Bowl champs, loaded roster, and then it's like, I'm going to go to a 4-win team.
Well, he has to start building a resume. Like Spytek, he was in the Broncos, he win a Super Bowl. Okay, now he goes to the Bucks, they win a Super Bowl. So wherever he goes, good things happen, right?
It's the two things that we always talk about, right? Like, Mark Davis opened up the checkbook and will overpay, and it's not on the salary cap. So great, fucking you should, Mark Davis. You fucking owe us for 20 years of shit. Open that checkbook. It's $500. I tried to look up tickets to go to the Monday night game against the Cowboys. You know what the cheapest ticket is?
Probably
$500.
$500. Yeah,
cheapest. Now it'll be more by then, right? Like, heaven forbid they both have like decent records. It's gonna be like $1,000 just to get in. Fucking pay these people, Mark Davis. You owe us. And two, if the Raiders are good the next few years, every single new body in there gets to take credit, right? Pete Carroll can say it was my great coaching. Geno Smith can say I was the quarterback they always needed. Spytek said I finally put together a great roster, right? Like, everyone wants to be a part of that. You want to be on the ground floor of something. It's like the secretary that started at Oracle, right? She's worth like $100 million because she got a couple shares when it first started, right? Like, you want to be that guy. And so it's A, you're getting paid, and B, all these pieces look fruitful, and you can.
Brandon Hunt could have been doing an amazing job with the Eagles, but Howie Roseman would still get all the credit. Mm-hmm. He had to move. He had to, and more so, I think, than knowing what Thomas Booker could be. He knew what the Eagles needed. He knew the itch that needed to be scratched. So he knew what to dangle in front of them to get what we wanted, which was they needed a guy, some cornerback depth. They needed some secondary depth. They lost like 3 guys that got played like both snaps last season. They lost 3 guys off the secondary, so they needed to get some depth, and they weren't super excited about what they had. So Thomas Booker wasn't going to get anybody's snaps in the defensive line. They're cutting guys that they just signed. They're cutting dudes because they got too many guys.
Speaking of random people strolling around at a practice, you ever thought you'd see Antonio Pierce, Chiefs red?
Dude, green light this fool, man.
What do you think him and Spagnuolo are talking about?
Hey, remember when we played with the Giants? Remember that? Remember when you called that play? Thanks for the paycheck. I still owe the people from that failed car dealership.
I hope AP is like, okay, here's when you shouldn't and should call timeouts. It's just, I want AP to like just poison the Chiefs with all of his head coach decision making.
This is rough, man. This was almost as rough as when John Gruden was out there.
Well, remember this. Thank you, Graphic Raider, for reminding us. In the week before the game, Pierce, then the interim coach, expressed to his team that they need to hate the color red and showed them videos of famous boxing and MMA fights. And now the NBA's Detroit Pistons approached playing Hall of Famer Michael Jordan late in the 1980s with a tough defensive game plan devised by Coach Chuck Daly. And he's sporting his red. This might be the thing to finally take down the Chiefs. Having Antonio Pierce's wisdom and knowledge spreading like a virus.
Can you talk to Andy Reid a little bit?
Right? I was like, hey, Andy, I got some really good in-game strategies you should listen to. I don't want to shit on AP like too much. Like, he did his best, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care, dude. He's over there making a paycheck. I'm not gonna. I'm messing around, of course. But he can go and make a paycheck, whatever. I'm not.
If there's any conversation If Andy Reid asked any question to Antonio Pierce other than like, what are some like defensive motivations?
When are you leaving?
Like, yeah. No, we don't validate parking. So we have a football-like substance to break down. Raiders at Seahawks, first preseason game tonight in Seattle. Raiders minus 4.5. And yes, we are degenerate enough to bet on preseason football. So here's something hilarious. Did you watch the Pete Carroll presser that everyone is saying he said the starters will play? Did you actually watch the presser?
Yes. He didn't say the starters will play. He said everyone will be ready.
He said everyone will be live. It's like he was asked, hey, are the starters going to play? And and he said everyone will be live. Every single headline, Raiders starters will play. Raiders starters playing. Raiders starters playing. Every headline said Raiders starters are playing when Pete Carroll didn't fucking say that. Like, why are a couple of YouTubers doing the journalism here? This is so. I talked to Adam Hill yesterday, and he was at that presser, and he's literally like, yeah, like he's like, yeah, like at 10:30 a.m. Pete Carroll said that. At 10:31, a beat writer tweeted out, Raiders will play starters via Pete Carroll. At like 10:48, the line went from Raiders -2 to Raiders minus 4.5. From the spread of misinformation made it to the bookies, because as soon as those headlines came out, people got on their DraftKings app, started loading up on the Raiders. All from nothing, all from bullshit. All from bullshit.
You gotta love it, man.
I love
gotta love these degenerates. Dude, trying to make a buck.
It's awesome. How much of a revenge game is a preseason game? Because I think if anyone can feel that way, it's Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, and Jamal Adams.
I mean, probably not much. They're probably gonna stroke them a little. Mm-hmm. Thank you for all your service. Thank you for all you've done for this franchise.
I think for sure the Seattle fans will give Pete Carroll a standing ovation.
They should. He gave him a Super Bowl. Like, what else do they want?
For sure. But I mean, remember, like the Seahawks, like they did him a solid in the sense that they let Pete Carroll say that he, resigned. He was fired. He wanted to stay.
That's nothing.
They fired his ass, right? Like Pete Carroll wanted to stay. You don't forget shit like that. Geno Smith got disgruntled. He wanted to bounce. There's, these are prideful guys. These are successful alphas.
Yeah, you don't mess with a guy's, well-being as far as their playing well-being. These are guys that are going to want to go out there and prove their worth. And if you take that away from them, they're not going to take too kindly to that.
Yeah, I can see Geno Smith going to Pete Carroll and being like, "Bro, let me just throw one touchdown to Brock Bowers. Yeah, let me just spike the ball once." Where are you on starters playing? Let's say a series. Offense and defense each get a series.
I like it because look, it's a new system. You got a lot of new pieces. You got a lot of young guys. Pete Carroll doesn't mind playing young players. He likes to play young players. He's like the antithesis to John Gruden. John Gruden does not like to play young players at all. He will try his very best to just say, okay, young player, just sit there and watch while a less talented veteran plays. Pete Carroll is not like that. He will force feed young players into the game. Mm-hmm. So he wants to make sure that everything is nice and tightened up. So what is he going to do? He's going to play a series, whatever. Now, Geno Smith may not throw the ball. He may just hand the ball off 3 times. But guess what? The snap count was there. They recognize the protection. There's still things he can, I'll tell people at the gym, if you're a new person to sparring, you want to go with somebody who's fought before, somebody who has control, because they can control. They're not going to hurt you, number one. But also, if they're good enough, they'll be able to find something to work on with anybody. So if you're good enough, you'll be able to find something to work on, even if you don't throw a pass as a quarterback. You made the right calls. You called out the protections. You did all that stuff right, which is all important, right? The cadence was good. You didn't have any false starts, anything like that. You could find stuff to work on and still have it be a successful series, right?
You never get hurt rolling with black belts. You always get hurt rolling with the spazzy white belts.
That new blue belt. That's when you get hurt.
That was last night. You think I got this cut from sparring with Beneil Dariush or Giga Chikadze at King's MMA? No, it was just some like 20-year-old who just like clawed at me. Like, you're right, right? It's like it's
take care of you.
Yeah, take care.
And they'll talk to you. They'll talk you through the whole thing too. Oh, that's a nice move. No. Put your foot here. There you go. They'll help you through it, and then they'll choke the shit out of you.
and then you're dead. Yeah, man, I'm with you. Like it's they're just so much new everything. Get some starters in there playing, right? Like they're gonna go gung ho in the joint practices with the Niners next week. Is it 2 weeks? Next week, right?
Next week.
Niners are next week.
Next week.
So you'll get that there. You'll get it here. Yeah, man. Like injuries will happen, right? Like you don't want to like grow out of your rollerblades because you're afraid of them getting dirty. You got to use them, you know. And again, I'm talking a series or two, maybe
a series, and even
new head coach,
only 3 plays.
New head coach, new GM, new OC, new QB, new
attitude,
like new lineman configuration. Like
how are you preaching competition and you're not letting the guys play?
Yeah. What do you want to see?
I just want to see cleanliness. Yeah. Penalties to a minimum. I want to see good line play because you can tell from the line how they're doing. If people are like looking around, what do I do? If people know, clean operation. Penalties to a minimum. People are where they're supposed to be. You're not going to get a very intricate game planning or anything like that. Very vanilla, but it's fine. I just want to see guys play fast. I want to see guys be aggressive. I want to see guys know where they're supposed to be. And limit the mistakes. That's what I want to see, no matter who's out there, starter, backup, whoever.
I want to see the health. I like to see the health of Koonce, Crosby, the knees of Adams. There's some guys with injuries. Like to just kind of see them on the field live, see how they look. There's that part. There's a lot of young players. I'm curious what they're going to do. How's Cam Miller look? Very curious about that. Tommy Malott. What role? How does he look? What role does he play? He might not even make the squad, but he's such an interesting player, right? So, like, I'm curious what they're going to do with him. As far as like, I would love to know what this new run game looks like. Obviously, Chip's not going to open up the playbook, but I would love to see I would love to see even a semi-intricate kind of fun running game because that's 3%. Whatever we see, it's going to be 3% of what they're going to do. So if that 3% is still some misdirections, some what we saw in Ohio State run game last season, I'm gonna be jacked, dude. I can't guarantee the run game's gonna be good, but I can guarantee it won't be boring. It's gonna be fun. I want to get a little taste of it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be as bad as it was last season. And we've already seen the fact that there are guys that I'm gonna say it, that I thought that were gonna be heavy contributors that are going to be guys that are going to either be a different position, and there's no guarantee that Jackson Powers Johnson is going to win a job. Like he's got to go out there and he's got to win it, and I'm trying to see these guys go out there and make stuff happen for themselves. There's the whole time of having a spot that's gone. Like that left. You got to go and you got to earn it.
When we were first coming to the realization that Christian Wilkins may not play this season, and I was like, hey, have Jackson Powers Johnson play both ways. He'd be an amazing defensive tackle. Now, if he doesn't get a starting job, is it crazy? Is it crazy that they're like, all right, JPJ, we're going to play DT for a season? It's pretty crazy, but it's less crazy than it was 3 months ago when I joked about it.
Well, yeah, it's just right now, I wouldn't be shocked. Is it surprising? Sure, it could be a surprise, but I wouldn't be shocked if anybody lost their job. Max would shock me, but other than that, no, nobody.
Ready to some Autumn Windbags?
Oh, I'm Brock. Yes, I'm ready.
And Kolton. And the kickers.
You like those guys more than me.
Who's going to replace him?
I'm not saying that I don't like them. I'm saying that you just, you got that boner for these guys.
Well, fuck yeah, dude. They're the two best arguably the two of the best players on the team.
Hmm.
What up, Windbags? CCFI Fresno. Speaking of, Kolton Miller extended 3 years, $66 million, $42.5 million guaranteed. This news came like right after we recorded last week. So you and I haven't a chance to chat about it. You did it live on Raiders versus the World about it. Seems reasonable. 3 years extension on top of what's coming. I think for his skill set, injury history, age. I like the extension plus 3 years. That'll put him at like 33, which is when you need to reevaluate a tackle again on the third contract, which is now on. Yeah, no issues. Seems like
Not at all. That's
as boring of a contract you can give your starting left tackle. It's pretty standard.
It's literally what I said we should do. Give him two, basically, because look, it's 2 years. It's a 2 year, $42 million guaranteed, and that third year is a little funky. They can get out of that third year, no problem. And he's at the age now where you give him 2 years, and if after the first season he's still the same guy, you see how he is going into training camp the second year of the contract. If he's he's the same guy, then maybe throw an extra year on there. You tear it up and you give him an extension, and you just keep going 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, and you can give yourself an out. So he got what he should have. It's a fair deal. It's a lot of money, but it's starting left tackle money, and the years are right. So it's very, very good deal.
So all y'all Windbags really brought it with your Christian Wilkins stuff. Normally when we do What Up Windbags, it's just like 3 different comments. I'm just going to go through a whole bunch because you guys were pretty great. Dennis Ortiz 9781. Christian, I will if you Wilkins.
That's a good one.
Dutch Master 707. Are we forgetting a big detail? Adam Butler was the guy that injured Wilkins celebrating. What if Wilkins held a grudge over Butler and diddled him? Michael Turner 3761. Wilkins been a ball grabber since his college days.
True.
The original Super Bob. Wilkins is the homosexual predator. We finally recovered from that embarrassing Carl Nassib era. Now this. The nation will get past this also.
Dude, I have no problem with Nassib. He is a homosexual male, but he wasn't a predator. He was just that's who he was. Nobody had a foul word about Carl Nassib.
He was opposite of all that. He was literally like, "Hey guys, I'm gay. I don't want it to be a big deal. I'm not taking questions. I'm not going to do a press conference. Here's a video. By the way, here's the link to suicide prevention for young guys who are struggling with their homosexual." He's like, get the attention on this good charitable deed, not me. Dude, if I was in the NFL and I was coming out of the closet, I'd be like, where's my book deal? Where's my reality TV show? Where's my tour? Like, I'd be making t-shirts and shit. Like, I'd be cashing in on that. Carl Nassib's like, no, it's my private life. I don't want to be
I got
about
no
me.
problem with Carl Nassib whatsoever.
There's nothing to have a problem with Nassib about.
Carl Nassib handled it like a thug.
And then there's Wilkins.
I mean the situation. Don't get silly.
Well, that's it for us. We will be doing a live show Thursday night tonight as we watch a real football-like substance on our televisions. There'll be Raider players with those beautiful, gorgeous silver helmets and those silky, sexy, they'll be white because they're away uniforms.
Chill, bro.
We'll be seeing Genty with those locks coming out of his helmet, that nice clean jersey.
You thought about this way too much.
We're gonna have Gino. Oh, I forgot. Soto's super hetero. All he thinks about is pussy and fracking.
Dude, you're talking about these guys like you have them on your dream board.
And then we're gonna see Brock Bowers take off his helmet and see this matted, balding man hair, like a man, how a man's supposed to look, mat of hair. And then we're gonna see Max Crosby running with his arms out like this. The only guy in the world that can run like this and still look athletic. He runs like a pregnant mom chasing a toddler, but still looks like a world-class athlete. It's uncanny. I don't get it.
To be fair, he does get juked out by a lot of white quarterbacks.
He got juked out by one white quarterback, but it was pretty bad when Josh Allen got him. Especially when Josh Allen's like 6'6".
Well,
so he doesn't look that athletic because he's so tall. Dude, it was
MILF Hunter freaking Zach Wilson got him too.
He runs like this, like he's doing an airplane, like he's a 2-year-old. All right, boys, we'll see you tonight on the live show. Until then, knock on wood if you're with me. Well, look at you making it to the end of this video. You look like you want more. Go ahead and click the next video, and if you really love it, go ahead and subscribe.